Unit 3. At the cutting edge. Identify strategic factors for key stakeholders. As key stakeholders are your foundation stone, strategic factors are your cutting edge. Organizations that do not clearly understand their strategic factors are like a blunt knife. They have no cut, and they certainly do not do the job. Welcome. Writing a strategic plan shouldn't be undertaken, but I suggest that a plan must be incisive. And you can't have an incisive strategic plan without a precise understanding of strategic factors. Obtaining this understanding is the subject and the main objective of this unit. Strategic factors in transactions. Now, let's look at figure 3.1 more closely. Arrows leading from the organization to each of the key stakeholders, customers, owners, suppliers, and employees represent the strategic factors relevant to them. Performance on these factors is what they receive. The organization receives something in return. In this case, the customers receive funds as payments. In the case of owners, they also receive funds as investments. From suppliers, the organization receives goods or services. From its employees, it receives effort. Receiving all this in abundance depends on the strategic factors. We label them factors because they are major components of the transactions. We label them strategic because they are the basis on which an organization or business builds a strategy in our system. Our system is based on an MS SharePoint, where you can map your key stakeholders and your strategic factors in order to develop an incisive and more effective strategy. Strategic factors are, as we have stressed, factors that are critical to the success of an organization. You should also note that there is no such thing as a single set of strategic factors for an organization or business unit. They are always specific to a key stakeholder. Figure 3.1 shows 4 sets of strategic factors, clearly illustrated, not just one. We will be talking about examples in the rest of this unit, which will be focused with one key stakeholder, the customer. Focusing on a single key stakeholder enables a better understanding of the concept of strategic factors. Then were we to be switching between types. In later units, we will consider strategic factors for key stakeholders other than customers. The 6 strategic factors relevant to the relationship of a 7-Eleven with its customers are listed in figure 3.2. Also lists are the benefits that are later derive from each of these strategic factors. Location, hours of operation, customer service, range of goods sold, store presentation, and price. The strategic factors emerge when we picture a potential customer driving down the street and making the decision to stop at a convenience store. He or she weights up the customer benefits list in Figure 3.2 that each strategic factor delivers. A set of strategic factors, such as those in Figure 3.2, could also be developed for other key stakeholders of a 7-Eleven convenience store, such as owners, suppliers, and employees. Strategic factors have the following characteristics. They are externally focused. They relate to stakeholder expectations. They are driven by internal processes and capabilities. They are factors which an organization or business unit has to handle well in order to succeed. They are the criteria used for stakeholders to assess an organization's or business unit performance. 1. Strategic factors are externally focused. It is very easy to view performance inside out. We become trapped by our systems, processes, and procedures. When this occurs, we miss the relevant strategic factors. These are found by looking outside in. In other words, strategic factors are discovered by becoming externally focused. 2. Strategic factors relate to stakeholders' expectations. Note how the 6 factors for 7-Eleven relate to customer expectations. Assume you are a potential customer of a convenience store. Don't you expect the store to get the 6 strategic factors right, even to a minimal extent? 3. Strategic factors are driven by internal processes and capabilities. The 7-Eleven store strategic factors would be driven by internal processes and capabilities, such as advertising and a well-trained staff. Yet, these processes and capabilities, as I have said, would not themselves be strategic factors for customers. Customers don't care about advertising and staff training. They only care what advertising and staff training achieve for them. In other words, they only perceive the impact of advertising and staff training when these processes and procedures surface as strategic factors, as a store image and good customer service. 4. An organization or business unit has to do well on strategic factors in order to succeed. So, let's suppose that 7-Eleven store has 5 of the factors in place, but its location makes it inaccessible. The store will be unsuccessful. Suppose it has everything in place except customer service. Employees are rude and do not know their products well. Again, it will be unsuccessful. Suppose that the other 5 factors are in place, but the prices are so high that people are deterred from becoming customers. Again, that store will be unsuccessful. The example illustrates how, for customers, the 6 least strategic factors are very crucial. 5. Strategic factors are the decision criteria used by stakeholders to assess an organization's performance. In the case of the 7-Eleven, customers weight up location, hours of operation, customer service, range of goods sold, store presentation, and price, and make a decision to go to one convenience store rather than another. In fact, the key to discovering strategic factors is to put ourselves in the shoes of our key stakeholders and figure out how they decide to choose our organization or business unit over others. Alternatively, and better still, let's ask them how to do this. We will definitely check it out at Unit 4. So, you need to know how a key stakeholder makes the decision to support you rather than your competition. Steps towards a winning strategy. Knowing the strategic factors relevant to your key stakeholders is a platform that allows you to progress to superior performance on these factors. Figure 3.5. And this excellent performance must be achieved for each of your key stakeholders. High quality performance on strategic factors can only lead to competitive advantage. Of course, once this is achieved, you will have attained a winning position. The message in this unit is clear. You cannot have a winning strategy unless you focus your attention on the strategic factors relevant to your key stakeholders. So you must first identify those key stakeholders, those people who determine the destiny of your organization or business unit. Guided by their expectations, they engage in transactions and the extent to which these transactions are profitable for both your organization and the key stakeholders will determine the extent to which you prosper. It is in the characteristics of these transactions that the strategic factors lie. You will discover them by putting yourself in your key stakeholder shoes. Alternatively, and even better, ask the key stakeholders directly. The answers that you will get will become the foundation for the strategy developed for each key stakeholder. Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed this unit and that you have learned a little bit about key strategic factors and key stakeholders. See you in the next unit. Leave me your questions. I will be glad to answer them. This was Victor Mark Ramos speaking, strategic planning and performance management consultant and coach.